Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. So my apologies for being 2 days late with this, but I want to show you guys something here. So I had an event in Dallas, and all of these people here came to Dallas for the weekend, and we literally shot and launched their ads in just a weekend. So I just wanted to share a couple of pictures. I'm just super proud of these students, man. Like, this is Laura right here. Like, she and her husband Travis had been using an ad agency for years and just not getting results, not understanding what was going on. She literally got my direction on how to set up ads and then ended up setting up her husband's ads. And this is from someone who had never really touched the ads manager before. So really powerful event. This is Travis, her husband. I walked and talked with him for about an hour and shot all of his video ads as well as a lot of other students' ads who were here. I had a really great group. We had about 17, 18 people here in Dallas. My copywriter, Lucas Rashevsky, you can see him here in the hat over here. He's always styling. He looks so LA all the time, but super, oh man, we just had such a great time. I mean, everyone was super impressed, and we will be doing this again. So if you need help getting your ads launched and you want an accelerated path to doing it, come spend 2 days with us. We're going to be doing it in Phoenix next. So we'll get into the Ask Laurel. I know a lot of people got stuff to do on a Sunday. Hopefully, you guys are brunching it up. Just a reminder, if you want me to answer your question, make sure you're putting it in the Ask Laurel thread. It's totally cool to ask the group questions. I just can't validate with what they're saying is accurate. Now, there's a lot of talented people in this group. And so I have the faith that everyone who is helping everyone is doing it in good faith. So I'll go ahead and get into this. And so, Jay, I pre read this. So the questions look good. Number 5 needs help. So this is like the one line that people are going to say, yes, I want that, right? And so you talk a little bit about how to teach the nervous system how to express that energy, right? Like you said that you show people that are on a healing journey how they can take the bound up energy in their pain and turn it into the fuel that will propel them, right? So this line right here needs to be like a 1 to 2 sentence, like irresistible offer. In the program, we talk about Joel Irway's power offer, but Alex Harmozy does his own version. It's called the Grand Slam offer. This needs to be so powerful that people are going to pay you and say yes just for this one line. So if you are helping people um, basically get rid of bad energy that's stuck, maybe in their nervous system, and I'm just making this up because I don't know a lot about your offer, but it would be like, give me 30 days and I will clear your nervous system of all of the energy that is keeping you from getting that next dream job. I'm just making shit up, but you get where I'm going. Like, it's always like a length of time. What is the big promise, right? Like, so on average, what is the outcome that most of your clients who work with you get? Because this line right here is going to be the single angle of all of your marketing. If you don't get this one line right, none of the marketing is going to work, right? So I would say work harder on this one line. If you haven't gone through, um, let's see, it is in the Get Ready protocol, offer optimization. If you haven't watched this video, I would recommend watching this. Also, if you if you watch this and you don't want to grab Joel's power offer, another place that I've been sending people to is Alex Harmozy's $100 million offer book. Super powerful. Kim says, hey, Laurel, my question is, considering I spend money on awareness and then consideration and retargeting, which percentage would you allocate where? So it just depends, Kim, because if you have a lot of top of funnel traffic, you'll probably want to allocate more to retargeting. Usually retargeting, we spend about 20% on retargeting because the cost of retargeting is a lot less than the top of funnel stuff. So it really just depends, like how many people are in your target audience top of funnel traffic. So if you don't have a lot of top of funnel, you're probably going to spend like 90% of your budget. if you're brand new, you're going to spend 100 of your budget, 100% of your budget top of funnel. But I don't have enough context here to be able to answer this question. But it just depends on how much of a warm audience you have. So if we're talking about me for my $7 program, I spend 80% of my budget on audience acquisition, meaning I'm spending the bulk of my budget on running power content ads and sending people straight to my $7 offer. And I spend about 20% of budget because I use $2 ads, right? On all of my retargeting. So like I said, this is going to vary, just depends on how much traffic you have where. So Wendy asked that Wendy is transitioning from a sales funnel into a call funnel. And so I directed Wendy here because if you go into, so for those of you guys who are running call funnels, go into the offer ads section. Now you're still going to want to put together your power content, but if you go to the offer ads section, you'll see the discovery call accelerator. There are 3 different variations on this strategy. So it just depends. Like if you're not at 10 to 15K a month, you're going to want to use either variation number 1 or variation number 2 here. If you are at 10 to 15K a month recurring, you'll want to use this variation right here. So Katarina says, hey, Laurel, I'm trying to understand the structure of the ads for the power content. You have several videos with different setups. I watched some of your YouTube. So don't just, so here's a warning. And I pre-read this question, so I know what she's asking. So she wants to test her power content videos with 5 ad sets, right? So Katarina, I have a feeling you're probably watching some of my YouTube ad setups that aren't for power content. They're different ad setups for different types of ads. So my recommendation, and there is even a walkthrough here. If you go to the power content campaign setup, use this right here. Follow this instruction. So the reason, so what she did was she did her setups, but my inkling is that she has campaign budget optimization turned on. Turn that off because she's trying to add. So she set up 3 ad sets. And now she's trying to add a 4th and a 5th ad set, but Facebook is telling her she doesn't have enough budget. It's because I believe, Katarina, that you have your campaign budget optimization, or I think it's now called advantage campaign budget. Turn that off. It's at the campaign level. Turn that off and make sure that you're spending $5 a day per ad set at the ad set level. Let's see, Chuck says, I started a campaign with lowest cost bidding with a very broad reach. Per your advice from last week, it's getting about 22 CPA. My usual CPA is around $8. Is this because it's taking the algorithm longer to find buyers? Yes. He says, I don't want to shut the ad off because it's performing very well despite lack of sales, above average engagement and quality. The test is at $50 a day. It's about 13 conversions in the learning phase. Should I let it go all the way to 50 purchases or shut it off? So this depends, right? So here's the thing that you guys need to understand. I'll actually start a doc new for you guys. So whenever you're starting out, right, you have your low-hanging fruit audience, right? So this is the audiences that you start with, right, where you have your warm, right? So when you launch an ad for, like, let's say, I'll just use Chuck as an example, like a low ticket offer, right? You're obviously going to get the best with this, right? But at a certain point, this is going to putter out, right? Because you only have so many people in your warm audience. Then you go to type targeting. This is also another low hanging fruit, right? So this is like your indie audiences, like I call them, right? So like one interest audiences, right? So like if I was using, Amy Porterfield, I would just run it that. Again, low hanging fruit. But again, we can use the same creative here and here, right? Now, here's the thing. You want to be testing a lot of audiences. I always tell people spend 10% of their budget testing, okay? Now, if you're running the same ad to this audience, right, it's going to putter out. And so the next step, instead of going more broad, I'm just going to switch up my creatives every other week or so for these audiences, right? But when you're ready to scale, you want to go broad but you're going to use many creatives to do it. A lot of times when people say they want to scale, they don't understand like how many creatives you have to do it. So you want to make sure that you're exhausting these two audiences, but at the same time putting new creatives in front of them. Because when you go broad, it's going to, again, if you have all of the pixel data here. So I'll give you an example. So for my $7 program, this is how I launched it, right? The first way I launched it was organically, right? After I sold it 400 times, right? Over the course of 2 or 3 months, I sold 400 seats into it. I then created a retargeting audience of everyone who had visited the sales page in that time, right? That was my low hanging fruit. Now, at this time, remember, there's like 400 purchases on that pixel in just 3 to 4 months. And so this added fuel to the fire. Now, whenever I went to cold audiences, my pixel already had hundreds of purchases on it. So it made it easier to find those people who were buying here. And so that's why we want to do it as a process, right? Because when you go broad, you are going to open up the blanket a little bit, like in your messaging, you're going to open it up in your targeting. And so it's going to take a little while to optimize, but it helps if you have enough pixel data, right? But just know the broader that you go, you're going to have to use more creatives. And that's what a lot of people don't, because they get spoiled playing in the tighter targeting, right? Because it's the low hanging fruit, but there's only so many, like there's only so much time that you could spend doing this, right? But here's the thing, the more you go here, the more this is going to work, your retargeting, right? Because you have to fill your bucket up. So one of the things that Chuck did not say is, what is his target CPA? Like, what is the amount that he has to pay in order to, because like, for instance, right? So when I started to go broader in my targeting, my cost per acquisition went up, but my value per customer is about a little over $300, right? So if my value per customer is a little over $300 and I want to spend at least, 30, 40% of that, I can spend up to $100 to acquire a customer and be super profitable. So Chuck, that is the one thing that you're lacking here is I don't know your number. Like, what is your target CPA that you can go with still being profitable? So hopefully that makes sense. And then he says, hey, Laurel, my new business is in B2B, where we help small and medium-sized business owners recover hundreds of thousands of free money from the government. So like I said, guys, I pre-read these questions. So he says, my question is for completely new businesses I'm starting, should I create a totally separate new ad account for that business specifically, or should I use the existing ad account that is in good standing but is all over the place? Anytime I start a new business, I want to start with a clean ad account, unless the business is the same audience as another current business, right? So anytime you have a completely different audience, it's going to do you no favors to have an ad account that's all over the place. So I would say start fresh with completely new ad accounts for each business that's different. So Kamal says, hey, Laurel, we are rebranding BCC to EGD. We do not have any email list friends or followers on the new EGD social assets page. And so they also have a low ticket. So she just wants me to check her missions. So she said, question number one, should we run both of these campaigns at the same time? Yes, you always want to run mission number one and mission number two, but you always want to start with mission number one, right? Because of the power content. This is something I taught the students here this weekend in Dallas, is that power content does a lot of things. It's not just about building an audiences, it's keeping our ad account safe too, because power content videos don't have links in them, right? So and they have short copy, right? Because you're only using your headline, promise of value, CTA as the copy. So they are the least risky type ads to run because of the short copy and the no links. And so we always want to run this ahead of mission number two, which is your offer ads, because offer ads are a conversion ad. Facebook always looks more closely at conversion ads, and they are more risky because they have heavier text, not only in the ad, but they also have a lot of text on a landing page. So the risk goes up that Facebook might not like some of the copy. So that's why we always run mission number one first, no matter the niche. And so she said, question number two, should we run mission number two as a conversion ad, which will go directly to the funnel for the low ticket course offer, or should we stick to the lead generation ads that will get emails first? This is a personal preference. It just depends. If you guys are already running ads to a lead magnet, I would use the conversion. But question number 2, asking, yes, it should be a conversion ad. Now, whether you guys want to run it straight to the low ticket course offer, or if you want to generate leads in order to do so, it's up to you, right? It's up to you. It's personal preference. Me, I had a personal preference to run ads straight to my low ticket offer. It just depends on what that preference is. Is your goal to build a list so that you can sell the course later? Or do you guys want to liquidate your ad spend? Just depends on what the ultimate goal is. So Cindy says, need to know what funds, USD or CAD, should I use for my backup Facebook ad account? Pros and cons. I have no idea. Like, I'm assuming maybe your main is CAD. That's why you're asking this question. I have no idea why you're asking the question. I don't have enough context. I don't know the pros and cons, but I would always say use whatever fiat that you're using. Like if you collect CAD, use CAD. Like depends on where you are, right? I'm US, so I use USD for both my ad accounts. So you want to make sure that the fiat is the same for all of your ad accounts. Caroline asked a really good question about moving people from comments to a conversation on YouTube. I actually shot this video with some of my private students this past week who asked the same question, so I went ahead and dropped that walkthrough there. Patrick says, hey, I'm taking the $500 campaign training, and my question is this. When retargeting audiences, for example, 25% video views, from how many contacts would you prefer to do a campaign with a conversion goal instead of a reach campaign? Ooh, this is a good one. So in my training, you guys will see that I either run a conversion campaign as a retargeting or reach. I like to use reach whenever I have a very small audience. So like, let's say I only have like 3,000 people to retarget. I want to pay for Facebook to reach as many people as possible, right? But once I start getting into, higher audiences like 5,000, 10,000, I switch it to a conversion campaign. But here's something to note, Patrick, and for anyone else who's listening to this, a lot of times I will run both side by side. I will run a retargeting campaign and a conversion campaign. The reach is definitely going to pick up, because remember, the way that Facebook optimizes is, let's say, and here's why. So let's say I'm sending people straight to my $7 offer, right? Facebook is already optimizing top of funnel for conversions. So anyone who's hitting that sales page anyway is already optimized for conversions. And so if I run retargeting as a reach campaign, it's going to reach as many people as possible, right? Now, if I am retargeting everyone who's in my ecosystem, including my power content views, including all of my page engagement, all of my organic traffic, right? There's going to be some people who haven't been optimized for conversions. And so I'll run a conversion campaign for that. So it just depends on the audience. But if you have a relatively low retargeting size, I find that reach does a better job of reaching everybody and having your ads not putter out, right? Because Facebook's going to, like, when Facebook optimizes for conversions, it's only going to show the ad in front of people who are likely to convert. If people are visiting my sales page, I want to make damn sure that Facebook shows my ad to everybody who's visited that sales page, right? So that's why I run that reach campaign. But now I've built my audience to where, like, I have like 100-something thousand people in all of my warm audiences, right? So we call it my warm audience stack. So a lot of times I'll run $2 conversion ads in order to optimize for conversion. So it just depends. So hopefully that answered your question. So Ali says, what should you do when your ad account gets permanently banned? Can I start a new one for the same page? Can I use another ad account? I already have to promote items from the page. I would recommend going through my Get Ready protocol, business manager and ad policy training. It'll show you like how to create all of the backups and how to keep it in good standing, how to keep it to avoid getting your ad account shut down. And then I even have a video what to do if your ad account gets shut down and how to create backups in case of a shutdown. And then I have a checklist right here. So I would just follow that protocol and see, because the question here is, can I use another ad account I already have to promote items? Yes, but if that ad account is full of data of a product that doesn't make sense for you to do that. So it just depends. So I would just follow that checklist and create all of your backups. Because it's hard to tell, right? Because I mean, technically the answer to this, can I use another ad account, is yes. It is showing me I can still boast a post with it. Will Facebook get mad at that? No, Facebook won't get mad at that, but we have to make sure that these ad accounts that we're using make sense, right? Because of all the data, okay? So I don't like to use ad accounts that don't have the right data at all. So Bryce says, "Hey Laurel, my results for my best performing ad set have been on a steady decline for the past 3 weeks. CTR all click through. If it means anything, the results starting getting good, really sluggish once I exceeded." Yep, that's what happened. So here's what I recommend, Bryce. I just went over this thing for Chuck. Take the advice I have for Chuck, because I think the explanation that I just gave for this is going to make sense for you here. He says, "I've been testing new ads, but haven't found one that works as well as this one did. Currently, I'm testing the winning ads in a new ad set. How do I know when to pull the plug on the ad set that was giving me great results?" So great question. I don't look at anything less than a 7 to 14 day window. So for instance, like sometimes, I don't even look at my ads for the week. And sometimes my wife will be like, "Hey, things started slowing down and it's been longer than a week." Then I'll go and look at my ad account and do some optimizations. But we should be testing new ad angles every single week, new audiences and new ad angles. So not just new audiences, but you should also be testing new ads to some of your winning audiences, and you should be testing new ads to new audiences to some of your winning ads, and vice versa, right? Because at some point, right, you can only exhaust tighter targeting and all of the creatives that you're doing. So if you do it in this way that I just explained, you're going to have a longer lasting result. And so hopefully that is helpful. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of today. You guys asked a lot of really, really good questions. I will be posting an open strategy call here soon for Wednesday. It is my beautiful wife's birthday this week, so we are moving cocktails and conversions over to Wednesday, and it's slightly earlier as well. So stay tuned for that. I'll be posting that in the group, and I will see you guys this week.